Hey yo, this is King Black, and I titled this video, Why Did I Choose Field Artillery When I Went into the Service? And quite simply, the answer is really simple. It was about the money. Back when I joined the military in the mid to late 2000s, recruiting bonuses were everywhere, with the max being $20,000 recruiting bonuses. And when I went in, I had an ASVAB score above an 80, and I had a GT score above 110. And basically, my recruiter told me, you have the pick of MOSs, but if you choose field artillery, you qualify for X and Y bonuses. And since you know second language, you qualify for this bonus too. But, before I joined the military, I originally wanted to be an MP, a military police officer. And that would have meant I would have done my training at Fort Leonard Wood. But all I heard was money. And I heard that there was almost no bonus associated with becoming an MP. And a $10,000 bonus for going in field artillery. I jumped at it. And with the other stuff that I had going for me in my favor, it got up to $20,000. And how could I say no to that? So I basically signed my life on the dotted line just hearing that statement come from his mouth. I mean, you'll have to be crazy to reject that kind of money, especially when at that time I was just turned 18. And I planned to make the military my career before I got hurt. So, the short answer is field artillery because of the money. And because of my particular MOS, which wasn't a 13 Bravo, which wasn't a 13 Papa. I don't know if I want to share my MOS. But it was more analytical, it was more calculations. And those of you who may have served before may know more or less the MOS. So, my basic in AIT was at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Fucking middle of nowhere. Town outside of Fort Sill is ghetto as heck. Got a lot of rank chasers out there. Females looking to get the soldiers for that sweet BAH. That TRICARE. Them locals out there are not dumb. And they'll be quick to snatch themselves up, a specialist or higher. Well, anyways, I did my little thing in Fort Sill. Got unit up with the second ID, Indian Head, and went along my way till I got hurt. Then I got out. And I'm still living with it. Years later, still living with the physical, emotional stuff that service gave me that may never go away. And I still got my whole life ahead of me. Now, I tell those who ask me, the military isn't necessarily a bad choice. You just have to understand that there's going to be a lot of BS you're going to have to put up with, whether you like it or not, in the military. The military is not like a normal job. Just because you get tired, just because you want to stop, you can't just quit. There's a whole lot of things in place to stop that. A whole lot of things that can happen to you. little things that may seem minor are major in the military. Like, you might get drunk the night before and show up to your work with a hangover. That's a no-no in the military. I remember one time during formation, first sergeant smelled alcohol coming from somebody's body. The person claimed that they drank on the Sunday before, and that they didn't still have it in their system now. They sent him over to get a blood test at the Army hospital to see what his blood alcohol content level was. And he got stuck with an AR-15, which basically means half your pay for a couple months. And he had to do a whole bunch of he had to basically police everything, which basically means pick up garbage, do whatever crap duties your ranking officers want you to do, or your ranking NCOs, whoever your leader was, depending on what's going on. So they wanted you to go and to walk the whole PT field and pick up any piece of garbage you see. That's what you're going to do. You know, if they wanted to punish you by policing the side of the road, all the roads of the base, that's what you got to do. You ain't got no choice in the matter. You can't say no. That's just a faster way for you to get your rank taken away if you have any. And if you don't have rank, that's a fast way to get your pay taken away. And when you're just a private or a private first class and you're only getting half your normal pay for a month or two, that hurts. You're probably only making $1,700 a month first starting out, and you mess up and they cut that down to $800 a month, you're going to feel it. And may the Lord help you if you keep on messing up. When you join the military, you just got to try and be squared away no matter what other people say. I'm not saying being a kiss ass, but I'm saying make sure you got all your ducks in a row so you don't get messed with all the time. Military is a different beast, believe me. But I always advise those who ask me, if you're going to do it all the way. Try to get on active duty if you can. Because why go through all that BS? Why go through all that stuff they go through in training? Why go through the risk of getting hurt in training or facing the risk of getting deployed for nothing? You know, if you're going National Guard or Reserve, you're a part-time soldier and still get called up to action, you know. You still get hurt, taken out, but the pay isn't as nice. Yeah, you have more free time, but the pay isn't nice. You don't move up the ranks as fast. So my advice is to go active duty. Work your way up to become an NCO. And then you can let shit roll downhill. And you'll be in charge of your privates doing the same stuff that you had to do. Telling them to do the same stuff that you had to do as you were when you were E1, E2, E3. And sometimes E4. Now, the military has its perks and it has its cons. You know, there's going to be times where you're going to feel like you don't want to do something. But you have to remember when you signed that line on that, when you signed your name on that dotted line, you gave your life up for the betterment of this country, to serve the citizens of this nation. You know, they're going to tell you, hey, we're going to go to the field for a few days or a week, training exercise. You may feel like you're not going to want to do it, but you better go show up and do it. Don't be no sick call ranger. That stuff will catch up to you eventually. A sick call ranger, for those of you out there that don't know, means for any little thing they're trying to hurry up and get out of doing actual work to go to the hospital and get checked out. Let's say PT is a 3-mile run, not even at full speed, but half speed. But that person doesn't feel like running that day, and they show up in formation, complaining about being sick or coughing or throwing up the night before, and then get sent to sick call, go to the hospital, get checked out, go to the clinic. And then they'll play it up at the clinic. They'll be hacking and coughing and pretending all this stuff. But these doctors, for the most part, are also in the military, and they can more or less tell when you're faking something to get out of duty. It's never going to end well. Field artillery wasn't bad, but I say that because I wasn't 13 Bravo. I wasn't picking up those 40, 50, 60-pound shells, loading them up into the howitzers, the 777s. I think it would have been interesting if I would have went 13 Papa back in that time. I think now that MOS has been phased out, I didn't really care to even try to go 13 Foxtrot. I had a drill sergeant that was a 13 Foxtrot, and for some reason he hated my MOS, and he hated a couple of other MOSs. He will always make us go in the front lean rest position in basic. I remember that. But discarding all of that, the Army is an interesting way to see the world, if that's your thing. The military is a great way to serve your country. The pay sucks until you get up to around E5 and higher, then it starts getting a little better. If you can come in as an officer, go to OCS, that's even better. It's a steady paycheck, as they used to say. It's 3 squares and a cop. Somewhere to rest your head at night. You aren't homeless, and you get your 3 meals at the DFAC. And you get your nights and weekends free for the most part. But it's a lot of miscellaneous stuff, man. You got correspondence, classes, training. You got all types of other kinds of training. You have, whatever your MOS is, you're going to have little duties that kind of fall outside of normal duty hours. It's not going to be a normal 9 to 5 kind of thing when you're in the military. It's going to be times where you're going to be awake till 11, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, especially when you're preparing to go to the field. But the sense of brotherhood, camaraderie you feel in the military, even though there's a lot of political stuff going on, and there's nothing really that can quite describe the atmosphere when you're in the military. And even when you get out and you meet other veterans, it's like, even though you may not know that particular veteran personally, you guys have been through similar situations. So there's like that instant kind of brotherhood connection, I got your back kind of thing going on. So, in summary, field artillery wasn't that bad of a decision for me, especially in my field. I had to carry a secret clearance. I was granted one, kept it. I'm glad I didn't go military intelligence. Heard some gnarly stuff about military intelligence. And we used to bust people's balls about going 88 Mike, which is a driver. Even the drill sergeants used to bust their balls back in the day, saying, did you know that the life expectancy of a military driver is 18 seconds over in Iraq and Afghanistan? Basically trying to spook them, but it's true, man. I'd rather be shot at 1,000 times than face an IED. You don't see that stuff coming, you ain't got a chance until you're rolling over it or you're stepping on At least if you get shot, depending on where you get shot, you have more of a chance to survive than if you get hit by an IED. And even if you don't get hit by the IED directly, you have the danger of the shrapnel, rocks, sand flying up in your eyes, your ears, your orifices, your nose, your mouth. Lose some teeth from a shockwave. It's not good things, man, but it's things that happen out there. And I know that not that many people agree with what's happening overseas. But let me tell you, those men and women out there wearing that uniform every day, facing danger every day of their lives, aren't necessarily doing it because they enjoy it. They're not out there patrolling every day necessarily because they enjoy it. They're doing it under orders from the commander-in-chief and from their superior officers, and to protect the rights of the citizens here in the mainland, and trying to do right by the civilians over there. Even though a whole lot of messed up things have happened and some of the stuff has come out in major media, you know, it's kind of a gray area over there. It's a different mentality. And it has to be a different mentality when you go over there, because if you go over there trying to be a pacifist, or you're going over there trying to be a conscientious objector, conscientious objector, trust me, when I say ISIS and Al Qaeda can give a crap about you being a pacifist or conscientious objector. They see that American flag, they see that uniform, and you are instantly the enemy. And I hope all those currently serving come back home safe. You guys should too, no matter what your views are on politics. You have to remember, these are men and women that enjoy sports, enjoy listening to the same music as you, have their own families, have their own children, have their own wives, husbands, boyfriends, girlfriends, etc. They have their own lives here to come back to. They all have the same kind of memories that you do, getting toys on Christmas, going to elementary, middle school, and high school. Don't get blinded by the policy of the government. As a soldier, you have no choice but to go where the nation needs you, regardless of what your views are on politics. When you're a soldier in uniform, you have no politics. It doesn't matter if you dislike the president. When you're in uniform, you cannot voice that opinion. You cannot say, I'm not going to do this because I don't like Trump. He is a commander-in-chief. This nation is your mother. And you will do anything to protect your mother, or I will hope so. Anyways, that's all I got to say. If you got any further questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. ADR, King Black.